Hey guys, sorry about that. Welcome back to Rock and Roll Religion. And sorry, no camera today. It's having some technical issues, shall we say? So we won't be having a face-to-face discussion, and there's no guest, so this is just going to be me running my mouth for a little bit. But we are covering a newer band today. They came out with their first album in 2009, so still fairly recent. Um, we are covering a Canadian power metal band that is absolutely outstanding on their later material. Unleash the Archers. They are a newer, like I said, a newer band, but a really, really solid one. And they are one of those bands that their first couple records, spent their first couple albums really kind of figuring out their sound. But when they did, holy shit, did they figure it out? And I see we got Christian and Soul Assassin in the chat. Always good to see you guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. Like I said, I apologize for the lack of camera, but it's having some issues right now, so I'll have to get that sorted out and or get a new camera. So let's get into the first album, and I gotta say their artwork is fucking phenomenal. Because I mean, just look at it; it is the most power metal album cover of all time. And yes, Soul Assassin. Brittany's always been a great vocalist, and she's hot as fuck. So I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. And yeah, Christian, I figured that wouldn't be much of a deal breaker for you guys, not having to look at my ugly face all day. But yeah, this is Demons of the Astroways, and this is, I won't say it's a bad record. It's not. It's not indicative of their later style, though. It's a lot more of a death metal style. They do have some great tracks like General of the Dark Army on here. But overall, it's not bad. It's not great. They were kind of testing out a new sound, and what happens on their later records doesn't happen here, where they have a coherent story to the whole album, which is a hallmark of power metal, where the entire album is one big story. Usually involve science and fantasy and whatever else. But this record, I would definitely give a shot, um, because it shows where the band came from and that they were one of these ones that didn't knock it out right away. They kind of built into it. And I will definitely give a shout out to their drummer, Scott Buchanan, who is an absolute machine. Like this man, especially on later albums, you'll start to hear him do some really incredible shit behind the drum kit, like playing two different time signatures on each foot. Like he'll be playing like quarter notes on one drum and on one kick drum and sixteenths on the other, which is hard as hell to do. So I will give him credit where it's due. Again, starting kind of a starting album. They have one before this. Let's see what the album title of that is. I didn't have it pulled up, so give me 1 second. Behold the Devastation is their 2009 debut album. Again, not a great record, not a terrible one, but you could tell their sound was still kind of coming together. And then we get into, after this pretty good offering, we get into the real good stuff with Time Stands Still, which I think is a reference to a Rush song, which is not a bad way to start winning me over. And again, the album art is just fantastic here. I mean, look at it. The giant demon clawing its way out of a freaking moon. It's very 40K. And, those of you who have been around the channel for more than a minute know that it's something I enjoy quite a bit. So this is where you start to get their real solid albums out of the way, where you start getting into songs like Frozen Steel, Hail of the Tide, Tonight We Ride, Test Your Metal. Like there's some real great stuff on here. Time Stand Still, the title track, is always solid, but it's really cool to see a band that's evolving their sound and improving with each record. And there's not a coherent storyline to this one yet. They have some like basic straight ahead rock tunes and a whole bunch of power metal on it. This is, again, I would give it like a 7. Like, this is where they really started putting out some above average material, and they just don't stop after this, where you're constantly just getting into some really great material every no matter what track you pick. And I would say there's not really a bad song on the record. There is not any standouts to me on here, but there's some really good material. Um, so like not all-time classic, but really solid record, and I would heavily recommend you listen to it. Now, this next one, and the one I'm going to be talking about for most of this video because I absolutely adore it, is their 2017 album Apex, which again, just a fantastic record. And look at the album art. I mean, you guys all know that I am a art nerd when it comes to album covers, and this is just top tier. And this album again is a coherent story from start to finish, and boy, what a start it is. You have the song Awakening, which is the first one I ever heard by them, and God, it's a monstrosity. It's just fantastic. Fast paced, hard hitting, very technical. And again, Britney's voice is just absolutely fantastic for this type of music. And let me pull up a synopsis of the story, because it is very, very cool. Let me pull up a summary of the story here. And this was their first one with Napalm Records, and it shows the production value is quite high on this. Very well produced. So, they were, I think the others were on independent labels, and this one was their first one with Napalm. So it's a fairly long album. It's just at an hour. So it's not too bad, but not quick either. And everybody on this record is just absolutely kick ass. I mean, you have both guitarists being Grant Truesdale and Andrew Kingsley absolutely slaying on it. The bass work from Nico Whitworth, fantastic. And of course, you have Scott Buchanan behind the drum kit and Brittany slays on vocals. So, I mean, the team is working really, really well. So I cannot praise them enough on that on that front. Like, the musicianship on display here is phenomenal, and it's really just cool to see a band figure it out. And pretty much, this came out in 2017, so they were about 8 years into their existence as a band, and it's really, really cool. Trying to find the actual storyline here. Basically, the whole thing revolves around a Soul Assassin, Napalm. Like, especially when it comes to the high tier bands, like Napalm Records has pretty much anybody. It's either them or Nuclear Blast. Napalm Records has a lot more of the power metal acts too. Like, I believe Hammerfall's with them. I know these guys are with them. Nuclear Blast has Sabaton and Battle Beast, I think. But they're just a collection of top tier talent, and the whole storyline of this record centers around the main character of the Immortal, who is basically like he sounds, an immortal being that awakens every now and again, and this evil queen basically summons him to do her bidding, and they are and her whole thing is to find these four children of hers who she's basically supposed to kill, I guess, to obtain immortality. And praise be Lord Thoth. Good to see you, man. But basically, she has to find these four guys and kill and these four sons of hers and kill them so that she can become all powerful for all eternity, essentially. So, and then she basically uses the immortal to carry that out, and it's a very dark storyline. I really dig it, and the musicianship, the entire record is just solid. It really is. I'm looking through the track listing here, and all of them are stone cold killers. I mean, you start off with Awakening and Shadow Guide, the Matriarch, which is an absolute banger of a track. Cleanse the Bloodlines, which sounds a little spicy, but it's really just the story of her collecting her, or ordering the immortal to kill her, or to collect these sons of hers so she can sacrifice them. Then you have possibly one of the best tracks they've ever done in The Coward's Way, which has this breakdown in the middle of it that had to be written to be played live, because you can just picture an entire crowd of people just fucking banging their heads to this for fucking right before you go into the solo. It's just a great little section of the song, and the rest of it itself is phenomenal. And Britney's voice, like, she has a lot of range to her voice, and she has power in that range too. Like, she can't just sing really high, she can sing with power at pretty much any range she can hit. She's a phenomenal singer. And this thing's full of power metal anthems like 10,000 Against One, and all that, and it ends with the title track of Apex, which basically lists the immortal going to sleep and starting the cycle all over again. Which, like, again, it hits all the hallmarks for power metal, like, a dark fantasy theme with an immortal being and all this other stuff, and an evil queen. It's very, very power metal, and I love the shit out of it. But I would heavily recommend this band for any number of reasons. If you're a power metal fan, go see these guys. They are absolutely fantastic. If you're a death metal fan, they have a little bit of a death metal hint to their musical writing, and it's not obvious, but it's there if you know what to look for. And they also have a backup singer who can do that, like, death metal snarl, which is great. I believe it's their rhythm guitar player. So you get multiple different vocal styles out of these guys. Solid band. I haven't seen them live yet. I really want to. But the one time they were coming through my area, then I unfortunately couldn't make it. So it's, sorry for the kind of a quick little stream today, guys. I was hoping to go longer, but especially with the technical issues and all that. And, this is a band that doesn't have a lot of material out there on them. They're still fairly new. They have another album I haven't gone into yet, mainly because I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. I don't have it, unfortunately. It came out in 2020 by the name of Abyss. And I've heard the title track, and I really enjoyed that, but I haven't dug into the whole album yet. I hope to do so in the near future, so there may be an update to this, and I may go into that album specifically. But really solid artist, and I'm glad to see a lot of the power and speed metal aspects from the 80s come back in a lot of very, very nice ways. And yeah, everybody's been having technical issues lately. I don't know if it's StreamYard or if it's my end. I'm assuming it's my end, because StreamYard's been pretty good lately. So yeah, quickies are never a bad thing, every now and again. Just get in, hit it, and get out. But sorry for the shorter video. I do want to say a quick shout out to all the guys who have just joined the channel from our Vets Talking Tunes streams videos that we do with me and Soldier Spirit, talking about some usually Tom McDonald. I did one on Jason Aldean with the song/video that's got people upset at him right now, which, good, cry harder, I don't care. It's a pretty decent song. Those of you who have been around the channel a while, I have a wide variety of musical tastes. I'm into a lot of different stuff, but obviously metal being my primary love. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. It's a real quick kind of thing. And first of all, to the over 100 of you now who just joined the channel in the last couple of days, thank you so much for supporting me and enjoying the content. This is one of those videos where I don't really get that political on this one, unless it has to do with, the subject matter we're talking about. This one's more just straight about the music. So hopefully you guys enjoy that content as well. I will be doing a lot more Vets Talking Tune stuff with Adam in the near future. So look forward to that, both on this channel and over on his channel and Vets Talking. I'll put the link in the description of this video, I think, after we're done here. But thank you so much, guys, for coming out on a Sunday afternoon to hear me run my mouth about a band that most of you probably won't care about, but I would absolutely recommend. Makes it yet another great Canadian artist, because one of the big artists we do on Vets Talking Tunes is Tom McDonald, who I've liked quite a bit. In fact, which is weird for modern rap. I'm not usually a fan of most modern stuff, but you know what? He's actually got a great message to him, and he seems like a really decent guy. He even commented on one of our videos, which was cool. So be sure to check those out. Be sure to check out this stream every Sunday for Rock and Roll Religion, usually about 5 o'clock. Unless I have a guest that needs some adjustment. And right after this, I'll be over on Rumble with Verdant Mint, over on the Verdant Mint channel, doing some Starfinder. So if you guys are into watching people be absolute random morons in tabletop RPG setting, then be sure to check us out over there. And with that all being said, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.